Who represents God in your faith? Who represents God in your faith?
In Islam, we believe that God is represented through his prophets, who are chosen messengers to convey his guidance to humanity. The final prophet, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is considered the seal of the prophets, bringing the final revelation, the Quran. Through these prophets, we learn about God's attributes, such as mercy, justice, and compassion. Thanks for asking that question, Dylan. Pastor Grace, how do you view the role of Jesus in representing God in Christianity? Thank you for sharing that, Imam Rashid. In Christianity, Jesus is indeed central to our understanding of God. We believe that he is the Son of God and fully embodies God's love and grace, teaching us how to live in harmony with one another. Through his life, death, and resurrection, Jesus reveals the depth of God's mercy and compassion, inviting all people to experience forgiveness and reconciliation. Thanks for asking that question, Imam Rashid. Rabbi David, how do you see the role of the Torah in conveying God's guidance and attributes in Judaism? Thank you for your thoughtful insights, Pastor Grace. In Judaism, the Torah is indeed the cornerstone of our relationship with God, embodying divine guidance and wisdom. It teaches us about justice, tzedek, and compassion, emphasizing our responsibility to care for one another and the world around us, a principle we call tikkun olam, or repairing the world. The Torah invites us to engage in study and dialogue, allowing us to uncover deeper meanings and connections over time. Thanks for asking that question, Pastor Grace. Monk Tenzin, how do you see the role of compassion in your tradition, and how does it guide your interactions with others? Compassion is at the heart of Buddhist practice, guiding us toward understanding and alleviating the suffering of others. The Buddha taught that true compassion arises when we recognize the interconnectedness of all beings, inspiring us to act with kindness and empathy. By practicing mindfulness, we can cultivate a compassionate heart, nurturing peace within ourselves and extending it outward. Thanks for asking that question, Rabbi David. Imam Rashid, how do you see compassion reflected in your teachings, and what role does it play in fostering community? Compassion is indeed a cornerstone in Islam as well. The Quran beautifully reminds us in Surah Al-Anbiya 21-107 that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was sent as a mercy to the worlds. This compassion encourages us to serve our communities, help those in need, and foster understanding among all people. By embodying this principle, we contribute to a more harmonious society. Thanks for asking that question, Monk Tenzin. Pastor Grace, how do you see compassion reflected in your own faith traditions and practices? Thank you for sharing that beautiful perspective, Imam Rashid. In Christianity, compassion is deeply rooted in the teachings of Jesus, who often reached out to the marginalized and emphasized loving our neighbors as ourselves. Matthew chapter 22 verse 39. Acts of service, forgiveness, and kindness are vital expressions of our faith, encouraging us to reflect God's love in our interactions. Thanks for asking that question, Imam Rashid. Rabbi David, how does compassion play a role in the teachings and practices of Judaism? Compassion, or rachamim, in Hebrew, is indeed a cornerstone of Jewish teaching. It is derived from the root word for womb, signifying a deep, nurturing empathy toward others, especially those in need. The Torah instructs us to care for the stranger and to show kindness, echoing the sentiment in Leviticus chapter 19 verse 18 where we are commanded to love our neighbor as ourselves. This principle is lived out in our practices, such as the mitzvah of tzedakah, charity, ensuring we support those who are less fortunate. Thanks for asking that question, Pastor Grace. Monk Tenzin, how does compassion manifest in your Buddhist practice, and how do you encourage it among your community? Compassion, or karuna, is indeed central to Buddhist practice. We cultivate it through mindfulness, recognizing the interconnectedness of all beings, which encourages us to alleviate the suffering of others. In our community, we engage in acts of kindness and meditation, which help us develop a compassionate heart and foster peace within ourselves and in our interactions with others. Thanks for asking that question, Rabbi David. Imam Rashid, how do you see compassion embodied in your teachings and practices within the Muslim community? Compassion, or Rahmah, is indeed a fundamental teaching in Islam. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was known as a mercy to the worlds, Quran 21-107, and we are encouraged to embody this quality in our daily lives. Acts of kindness, charity, sadaqah, and prayer are ways we express compassion towards others, reflecting our submission to Allah's will. Thanks for asking that question, Monk Tenzin. Pastor Grace, how do you see the role of compassion in your teachings, and how does it guide your community's actions? Thank you, Imam Rashid. Compassion is at the heart of Jesus' teachings. He embodied love and mercy in every interaction. The parable of the Good Samaritan illustrates this beautifully, reminding us that we are called to love our neighbors, regardless of their background. In our community, we strive to express this compassion through service, forgiveness, and being present for one another. Thanks for asking that question, Imam Rashid. Rabbi David, how does compassion manifest in your traditions, and what practices help foster it within your community?